All right, now we're going to walk through the process of using the BB FlashBack recorder to record your desktop, and then you can use that video to send forward to your students. So we're going to start out by going down to the Start menu, going to All Programs, and then finding the folder that says Blueberry Software. We're going to be using BB FlashBack Express Recorder. So I'm going to click on that. And we'll get this pop-up ad every time that you open it up, just because they're trying to get you to go ahead and purchase their standard or pro version. But you should be fine using the express version. And this is what your BB FlashBack recorder window looks like. It's not that big, but you can see it's recording me speaking right now. I can turn on my webcam if I would like. So there you can see me. And you can see that I am using a headset. This one only cost about $20 on Amazon. And if you are interested, it's called the Microsoft Live Chat. So you can select whether you're using the integrated computer on or the integrated camera on your laptop or an actual standalone webcam if you have that. And you'll just select that there. I'm going to turn the web camera off because I don't really need it on at this point. When you're recording sound, you have a couple different options. You can pick the headset that I'm using. You can use the internal microphone. I typically would recommend purchasing a headset and using it just because it gives you much better sound. And if you're going to make a video, you might as well have a video that has crisp, clear audio. If you're recording a video or you're recording something on your computer that's making sound, you also do have the option to record the audio from the computer itself. Typically, we're not going to use that though because we're going to be speaking to our students. All right, the last thing that you kind of have to select here is the region. You can do a full screen and record all of your monitors or one monitor. You can record one specific window, like if you just want PowerPoint showing. What I most often use is this region button. Okay, and when, for instance, if you want to share a PowerPoint or if you want to share something and just record a specific part of the window, that's what I'll use. So I'm going to go ahead and open up a PowerPoint. Okay, and this is just a PowerPoint I put together for my students. You'll get the opportunity to watch the video in the contents of your class folder here. And if I just wanted to, say I had a lot of speaker notes and I just wanted to click around through each different slide, I could go ahead and select the region of just this slide. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and start recording. It's going to let you select the region. So you can see my region is already pretty big here. So I'm going to shrink it down to just cover the PowerPoint. Oops, I got to find the bottom of it there too, because I just want to show what's going on in this slide. And you see it is going to tell you the width and height. So keep in mind that if you make it too small, it might look a little bit strange on other people's computers. So I would always do a test recording just to make sure it looks okay when you run it in the player. It'll also tell you right here your different hotkeys. So you can set up different hotkeys to start and stop the recording if you don't have an extra monitor, or if you don't have an area outside of the recording region where you can start and stop and pause the recording. Okay, so I don't often use the pause. My videos are typically short enough that I can just re-record the whole thing pretty quickly. So I'm going to go ahead and click the record, and you'll see it pauses a moment, and then you heard that ding. That was my signal to know that it started recording. And you can see off of the area here that it's a little bit darker in color. This area is the only area that's lit up. That is because this is the area that is actually being recorded. So whenever we watch the video, it won't have any of the stuff over here. But if I wanted to pause it, I could. If I wanted to stop it, I could. Okay, so I'm going to pretend like we are going through my PowerPoint to talk about these different parts. You can see I'm actually using samples of some outlines that my students actually wrote in the class. So that way this video is very relevant to them because each slide has a different example. So I actually have specific student work in here. Okay, so I went through my whole PowerPoint. It went great. I'm going to come down here and click on the BB FlashBack Express, or Control-Shift-S, if you remember, was my hotkey. I can click the stop, and it will automatically give you the option to save it or discard it. So if you discard it, it will automatically ask you if you want to re-record using the same settings. So it'll keep the region, it'll keep your microphone setting, whether you have your camera on and off, all of those different things. If you're happy with it, you can just go ahead and click save. And then it comes up and asks you where you want to record it. So I can record it in my BB FlashBack folder, or if you don't have one, maybe you want to go to your desktop, or maybe you want to create a new folder that's where you house maybe different videos for each class. So let's just call this Comp 1. I'm going to make that right on my desktop. Open that up, and then I'm going to put up here, and I'm going to call this, we'll just call it Test for now. And notice it's saving it as an FBR, which is a flashback movie file. It's the only option it gives you, and that's going to save it so that you can use it in the BB FlashBack Express editor. Okay, so I'm going to click Save, and it'll ask me right away, do I want to open it in their player, or do I want to export it? You can open it in the player and watch it. Make sure you like how it sounds. I'm going to pretend that I did that and I'm happy with it, and I'm going to click on Export. Now that we're officially done with that recording, the recorder does pop back up in case I want to record again. You can download it in multiple different formats. If I'm uploading something to YouTube, which we're going to teach you how to do, I typically upload it as a flash file. So I'll click OK to export it to that. And then we have some different flash export options. If you're really interested in knowing how to work with movies, how to select different types of playback and video quality and audio quality, you can look through these. I typically just let it go. I don't change anything when I upload mine, so I'll go ahead and click on Export. It's going to ask me again where I want it, so I'm going to go back to my desktop, find my Comp 1 folder, and I'm going to save it as an FLV file. Now this is the part that might take a long time if it's a longer video, for it to kind of make the export and change things over. So just be patient with this part of the process, and it will get it ready to go there. In the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and close my flashback recorder and close my PowerPoint so that you can see here's where my comp folder is, right there on my desktop, so I can access it. And then as soon as it is exported, it asks you if you want to view it. So I'm going to go ahead and click OK, or click Yes. And here we'll see the test video that I recorded. I can control where we are on the timeline by scrolling back and forth up here. When we watch the video, it won't have any of the stuff over here. And you could hear me talking a little bit there maybe. When I hit play, if you remember, we selected only the part that showed the PowerPoint slide when we were recording. So that's all that it will show you. Okay, it gives you a little bit of information here. If we want to embed this specific movie directly into a web page or maybe into a Moodle or something like that, we can do that from this site. But since YouTube does have versions of Google Analytics, that's typically where I put my stuff so I can check back in and see who's watching them. So I'm going to go ahead and end this recording now, and you can go ahead and watch how to get your video into YouTube and how to use the different analytics with Ryan.